Let's stand for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Shirley, you want to call the roll, please?
Cruz. Here. Kolonowski.
Here.
Hall. Here. Walker.
Here.
Ryan Cruz. Here. Kaczynski.
Here.
Staten.
Here.
Okay, on the meeting agenda for tonight, under communications and announcements, we have a letter of resignation from Betty Allen. Under department and committee reports, we have item A, the sewer report. B is Operation Services monthly report. C is the DDA minutes and director's report. Item D is the Building and Grounds Committee minutes. Item E, the Planning Commission minutes are in your packet, and we also have to act on the capital improvement plan synopsis prepared by the Planning Commission for approval. Item F is the zoning administrator's monthly report, and then G, H, I, J, K, and L. Those committees have not met. New business, item A is consideration of approval in the amount of $1,000 to the Manistee County Planning Department to construct new zoning map and provide copies, including digital, of the updated zoning map. Item B is consideration of approval to amend the employee handbook, section 304, dealing with sick and personal time. Item C is consideration of approval in the amount of $30 per year to White Pages Premium Unlimited to look up addresses and phone numbers for the treasurer. Item D is consideration of approval of the Metro Act bilateral application, which was submitted by KEPS Technologies Incorporated, dbaacd.net for telecommunications access, and to authorize the township supervisor to sign. If there's no additions or changes to the meeting agenda for tonight, we need a motion for approval.
I'll make the motion.
Motion by Stege, second by Dean Cruz to approve the meeting agenda for tonight. Discussion. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. On the consent agenda for tonight, we have item A, the minutes of the regular board meeting from September 6th. B is the financial reports. Item C is approval of the Township General Fund expenditures, including the fire department. Those are checks numbered 39934 through 40011. Check 40003 was voided. The accounts payable total $30,369.42. Payroll totals $15,424.44, bringing the total to $45,793.86. Item D is approval of Water Department expenditures. Checks numbered 3010 through 3018. Totaling $37,888.19. Item E is approval of the sewer operating expenditures with checks numbered 1176 through 1177 and totaling $632.10. Item F is approval of the monthly ACH payments to the state of Michigan and the IRS in the amount of $3,669.72. Item G is approval for a budget amendment to transfer $15,000 from fund balance of the general fund to Parks and Recreation Professional Services. Item H is approval of a newspaper ad for one board Board of Review member to fill an unexpired term ending December 31st of 22. And item I is approval of a newspaper ad for one zoning board of appeals member to fill an unexpired term ending December 31st of '22. Again, if there are no changes to the consent agenda, we need a motion for approval.
I'll make the motion.
Motion by Kolonowski, support by Brian Cruz to approve the meeting, or the consent agenda for tonight. Any discussion? All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Public comment. Okay, no public here tonight. Under communications and announcements, you have your resignation letter from Betty Allen. Under department and committee reports, again, the sewer report is in your packet, includes the data summary as well as the monthly operating report from the city. Item B is the monthly report from Operations Services. C is the EDA's minutes from September 6th meeting as well as the director's report. Item D is the Building and Grounds Committee minutes from September 19th. And E, the Planning Commission, you've got the minutes of their regular meeting from September 20th, 2022, and then we have the 2023 through 2028 capital improvement plan synopsis in your packet, which we need to approve tonight. We have a motion for approval. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion by Dean Cruz, second by Brian Cruz to approve the 2023 through 2028 capital improvement plan synopsis prepared by the Planning Commission. Any discussion? Okay, Shirley, you want to call the roll, please?
Dean Cruz,
Yes.
Brian Cruz.
Yes.
Kolonowski,
Yes.
Walker,
Yes.
Yes.
Stady, Paul, yes, Paczynski.
Yes.
Okay, item F, you have the zoning administrator's monthly activity sheet in your packet. And that takes care of, well, there is a fire department report. I failed to mention that, but there is a monthly report from our fire chief in your packet. And that takes us to new business. Item A is consideration of approval in the amount of $1,000 to the Manistee County Planning Department to construct a new zoning map and provide copies, including a digital update of the zoning map. And I will make a motion that we approve that expenditure to the Manistee County Planning Department. Motion by Walker, second by Dean Cruz to approve the expenditure of $1,000 to the Manistee County Planning Department for updates of our new zoning maps, along with digital copy of the same.
Okay, but I would say that this is only an estimate.
I didn't read it that way.
Hours provided on this quote are estimates for the average time this scope of work normally requires. So the hours should be billed according to the predetermined rates.
Okay, didn't we have something on this in last month's packet as well?
We talked about it, but I don't know that we had anything to look
Maybe
at.
that's why I thought this was a final, but this is a,
We could approve the
oh yeah,
quote.
it does say estimate. Okay, so I guess I would just amend my motion to state that that's an estimated amount of $1,000.
For this quote number, 01-20.
Yeah. And Dean, if you're okay with that amendment, okay.
Then,
Any discussion?
then what happens if it's more? Do you have to go back to the board to,
Well, we're approving the quote, and the quote already does say that it's for estimates.
Yeah.
But what they're giving you is estimated
if it
amount.
goes up to, what's the estimate? If it goes sky high, I mean,
We can't do it then.
I want to vote on something I don't.
Well, you're going to have
No.
to get it done somewhere.
Well,
So then,
I would say if there was a
Well, I don't think-
motion to up to not exceed 1,400 or something there.
And I don't think we're in a time crunch on this, are we?
well, it depends on how the Hamlin goes.
Well, that's, yeah, it's going to be
We could delay.
a while. But we could amend the amended motion, I suppose. Say not to exceed, say 1,500.
Yeah,
Yeah. Good with that, okay.
I'm good with that.
Any other discussion? Okay. Got it, Shirley?
Got it.
Motion amended? Okay. All in favor of the motion on the table signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Item B is consideration of approval to amend the employee handbook, section 304, sick/personal time. And in your package, you've got the old language and the new language.
Why are we doing this? We don't have anybody at 30 hours or above.
Well, it didn't call it off before, and this is the thing that we looked at that last meeting, and we said, why do we have this? You know, there was no
Right.
change, there was a change of showing what the threshold is 30 hours for full-time. That's now stated in there. That's the reason that this is being changed and needs to be approved. I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Motion by Ball, second by Stady to approve the amendment to the employee handbook, section 304, sick/personal time, as noted in your packet. Any discussion? Okay. All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Item C is consideration of approval in the amount of $30 per year for the White Pages Premium Unlimited package to be able to look up addresses and phone numbers.
All I can say is Molly has this for herself at her business, and she says it's extremely helpful, because there are times I'm trying to track down, tax bill comes back, have no way to contact with people, or and the same thing with Tammy, she gets water bills that come back, and this would just allow us to be able to better track down things if we need to.
I think it'd be
It's not that
it's a pretty
expensive.
handy thing to have, I would say. I'll make the motion.
And I'll second that. So we have a motion by Kalinowski, second by Walker to approve in the amount of $30 per year the White Pages Premium Unlimited package. Any discussion? All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Item D is consideration of approval of the Metro Act bilateral application, which was submitted by KEPS Technologies Incorporated. It's for telecommunications access and to authorize the township supervisor to sign.
What exactly is this?
It looks like, Tom, it looks to me like there's a red line, like by the Fire Credit Union, crossing 28th Street heading north towards, going to the north.
It just stops.
And it stopped, and I'm curious if that's where they got a contact, if that's where the line, the main line goes and they're going over credit union. I don't know,
I'm just curious what.
I looked at that too.
Yeah,
No, it's tied into the credit union or?
I'm not real sure. I didn't see the map until just, I don't know if it was yesterday. And, I was just following the email threads between Richard and this Andrea Brand. And Larry was involved in it as well. Beyond that, I don't know a whole lot about it other than they do need to get township permission to do this. And then I believe down the road, we benefit financially from the Metro Act funds. So,
Curious what it's for, it's,
yeah.
I don't know, objection.
It's gotta be something like a franchise agreement.
Well, it's not that, it's just an application for the Metro Act. They don't need a franchise, that's what started all of this. We wondered if they needed a franchise, and they don't.
Well, I think that's
Because it
Great Lakes
needed-
Energy, we found out that doesn't need the franchise agreement.
But
They
these
need,
people too. They weren't
Yeah, this has
individuals,
gotta be very
so
similar,
They didn't need
yeah.
a franchise, but they did do this application so we can get our Metro Act funds.
And what's the Metro Act funds?
It has to do with
rights of way.
people that have lines in our rights of way. I can't remember what Metro, it's a METRO, it's like 5 words, and I don't remember what it does it say in here
I
anywhere.
think it does spell it out here.
Metropolitan Extension Telecommunication Right-of-Way Oversight Act.
Yeah. Anybody that's got any of their equipment in our road right-of-ways, they have to pay fees to the state, and municipalities get a kickback on that. And I forget, we're around 40,000, I think. No, 30-something?
5 or something?
Oh, I thought it was
I
more.
don't know.
Let's go back and look at the budget. I thought we were up in the 30s or 40s. Okay, so we don't get much.
It's something.
Yep.
Yeah,
They get 911 to give us some money. They're in town.
yeah.
Well, antenna should be.
Okay, did we get a motion on this?
No,
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Dean, second? Okay, motion by Brian Cruz, second by Dean Cruz, to approve the Metro Act bilateral application, which is submitted by KEPS Technologies. Any discussion? Okay, all those in favor signify by saying aye. You want to do a roll call? Okay. Go ahead.
Wall, yes. Brian Cruz,
Yes.
Stady,
Yes.
Walker,
Yes.
Kolonowski,
Yes.
That's what I saw.
Dean Cruz,
Yes,
Lachinsky.
Yes.
Yeah, I wonder where it originating on 27th Street and going to the credit union.
Yeah, the map looks,
Maybe we can do more on
Well, I'm sure it does, yeah.
unless
Okay.
it's going to 27th Street from the credit union.
All right, public comment. No public comment. Anything else to bring before the board tonight? Tom, do you have anything?
Nothing.
Dean?
There's paperwork in there that shows you from the county, all those pictures they had taken and everything of it, off the computer. So it's in the office, the secretary's office.
Pictures of what?
All the roadway from Red Apple, all the speed limits and everything around that thing. It's sitting on a desk in there.
Okay, I'll have to look at it. Does that mean they don't want to change that off to 35?
They are still talking about it, they will be talking about it. I got paperwork I gotta give them that's signed by Shirley, and I'll get all that out to them. I got all the slips of paper from the people and everything too. So I've got both of those, got 100 and some odd names, so.
And was there two of our constituents that
Yeah,
attended
two
the
ladies
last
were there.
road commission meeting?
And
Okay.
they had a good hour talk almost, you know, back and forth. So I told them I'd get them the paperwork.
Does it have to be 35? I mean, is that,
They didn't say anything. What they're looking at is they listen to ladies, listen to us. They're talking about, you know, putting it down. And they said they'd look into it.
Isn't it 55?
It's 55.
It's fit, when you come around the
Right.
corner,
Once
then
you
she's,
get past,
yeah. We used to race that.
I know, I used to race you.
They still do.
And there's no sign, I don't think, from the highway to Maple.
Yeah, but that's a given. If it comes off the highway, goes that way, it's 55.
If it's a county maintained road and not posted, otherwise, speed limit's automatically 55.
Unless it's in a community.
Short section instead of not even, or it's a mile maybe.
Yeah,
It's hard to get up to 55.
No, it's
And
not.
that first-
Maybe
Nowadays,
with your little hot rod.
they're flying.
that first
Oh, they fly.
35 mile per hour speed limit sign is
Just-
near your house? Is it?
Just past Ramona.
Yeah, okay, so it's west of you, so they're already in a, residential neighborhood
Yeah.
and it's still 55. And I've had numerous conversations with the road commission about that, and the same on Cherry and, Murky and now Red Apple and Fox Farm as well. And they don't seem to be too inclined to want to move on it. And state police, I've had a number of conversations with them as well, and it kind of depends on who you talk to, you get a different story, it seems like.
And Hogan said he tried, and
Yeah.
Ernie Ominsky said he tried, and they were both told that not enough fatalities. Not enough deaths to warrant any lowering the speed.
Well, it all hinges on the 85th percentile
Right.
of what the speed traveled by motorists is, yeah.
I have one more thing.
Dean?
Our friend Randy Skinner called, and he wants Cherry redone, street. Past his house and down the way.
North of his house,
Yeah, north of his house.
yeah.
So I thought I'd bring that up.
Yeah.
But on another note, I've been calling, the last 4 years to the state of Michigan about getting a stoplight or a yellow caution light at my bungalow. And that gal who's in charge of this whole area told me there's not enough fatalities on that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Flat out told me that. So.
Well, and I know the fire department did the same thing. They tried for a number of years to get something there, and they were pretty much told the same thing.
He thought at one time he had it. He didn't, not enough.
Yeah. Okay, Dale, do you have anything?
are we supposed to, this first responder thing, is this something that everybody can go to? And
Yeah, that was handed to us, well, to me, to make copies for you
Okay.
at the county summit.
Okay.
I'll be in Kalamazoo, so.
Brian, you got anything else?
Just, we discussed at our little round table there at the meeting at the senior center about tablets to eliminate paperwork. I think we should, I don't know if I should make a motion to look into it. You were going to check maybe with Richard Wilson about security.
No, what we were going to do is, when Tammy got back and the dust settles around here a little bit, We were just going to put a meeting agenda on there so you could all see it and see if you'd like it. He's got a township tablet. We can put it on that, and then you can look at it, and we can scroll through it with you, one-on-one in there. And then if you like it, then we can pursue it from there.
I think it's not liking it, it's a matter of saving all the paper. We still gotta have paper copies for the public, that's fine.
And I need paper copies. The paper will never, ever.
Never
always
go away, but you got ink, printer ink and that stuff's not cheap. And I know I'm on the board of the credit union, we're all going to tablets. The whole credit union, not just the board.
And we could do away with these packets, at least 6 of them.
So that's got nothing with security, if anything, there's a lot of security there with the $2.25 million, $225 million
We would
credit
have,
union versus this.
we would have to have it set up by BC3, which is the new name for IT Right. If we would ever get it, we could get some guidance from them what other townships use as far as what kind of
I
tablets.
know the county does it.
County does it, the city does it.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure the city,
I talked to the county once about it briefly, a couple years ago.
yeah.
I think we should pursue it, at least to give the board a,
We're going
I
to,
don't think any of the other townships in the county use it, but I know there's a number of townships in the state that do.
sure, yeah, it just was a real big push some years ago, and the larger townships were going to it. But then it kind of died down because it got to the size of maybe us or even smaller, and then there's not much desire for it. Some of
the
those
cost
big-
has definitely gone down, tablets.
Yeah, the big townships have probably very big packets compared to what we have.
Well, this is one of our smaller ones, and this is pretty good. That's a lot of ink there, and a lot of trees cut down. I don't know if I did a lot of trees, but all of ours is cut trees.
Yeah, I think it's definitely worth it. Tom, you got anything else?
I noticed on the capital improvements plan, it shows the 3 road projects we were going to do this year but didn't. Are there any thoughts on anything else for next year? In addition or not?
Well, I want to have us take a good look at Red Apple, because that gets traveled a lot, and we've got a lot of complaints on that. And the shoulders are deteriorating quite a bit, right, Dale?
Yeah, but you know why?
Yeah.
But,
Across the road from you?
Yeah, they're beating the crap out of them. I mean,
Yeah.
the road's not made for that kind of stuff.
That's continual, but also there's so much building going on there. to
There
keep
is.
the Cement truck steady and,
Yeah.
Well, in the last few years with the high water levels in Lake Michigan, I know there's been so much work done on stabilizing the shoreline, with
bringing in
piling and large
boulders.
boulders, and that's a lot of massive weight traffic on those roads. And hopefully the bulk of that kind of work is behind us now.
Because it doesn't pay if they're gonna keep doing that.
Yeah.
thing is, we still got to pay no matter what, we got to fix the roads.
Yeah, but I'm saying,
They get to travel on them.
I'm wondering if we were to look for a grant writer and utilize the fact that we had the high water and this had to be done. And if we could get some fundings to repair the roads from the trucks running on it like that to repair the high water.
Worth a shot.
There may be funds there from something like that.
Yeah.
Those main roads, Fox Farm, Red Apple, that they're hauling in.
Is there anybody in the county that runs a business for granting?
Well, I think the county hired a grant writer, didn't they?
They did.
Yeah.
But I was told at our last intergovernmental meeting that that grant writer is just for doing grants for the county. And my understanding was when we did our 5-year rec plan, there was language in there that pertained to that, the county providing a grant writer that could write recreation grants for all of the municipalities in the county. And I know that, I had that discussion with Rob Carson, and I believe, I can't think of his name right now. He came to one of our meetings.
Zach Vega?
Zach Vega. And so I don't know, I want to go back and revisit that.
Well,
and
Rob is no
read-
longer with the county,
Right,
and
right,
he
he's with
may,
Networks.
they still may step up and do the recreation
Well,
5-year.
I thought that was the purpose of hiring the grant writer too, was to help all the townships. That's why it was brought up here in the meeting
Yeah,
a while back.
yeah. Yeah. So but I think, taking a look for potential grants for road work related to, the heavy equipment that was
High traffic.
moving, the stuff for shoreline erosion. There may well be some funding there, so.
That might be a county thing though too, for county roads.
Yeah. Yep.
So their grant writer should be able
Should be able
to
to.
see if there's anything available. I mean, the erosion was public, private property, but the roads are county.
I'll contact Jeff Dodson, run that by him, see if he's got any information on that. Okay.
How's the water well and all that stuff? The water well and the other,
They are close to having the PER done. I spoke with Brian Sousa about 3 weeks ago, and the main reason I called him is to talk about the potential hamlet project and the necessary infrastructure that would be needed, and where we're at on our project for our well and our water main upgrades in Oak Hill. The fact that first of all, I want him to take a look at, when we get to that point with the developer, have them take a look at the drawings and the necessary infrastructure for that project, and then funding for it. And if we want to switch up we talked before about doing it all together in one project, and if we get something going before we're ready to tackle the water mains, we may need that well sooner. And he said, yeah, we'll, just keep him informed, and we'd take a look at that. Also, there's a deadline of November 1st for I think it's the drinking water state revolving fund for application for funds there, grant money and whatnot. I know there's a deadline of November 1st, so I talked to Brian about that as well. And they're working all that in, so it's.
Is our choice of site on Ricky Road?
I'm sorry?
Our choice of site for the well is on Ricky Road.
Well, to be determined. There'd be a number of studies that would have to be done first, Tom. I know we talked about near one of our current well sites, particularly well 4. We also talked about next to our property, 2111 Nelson, as a potential, but right now, based on conversations I've had with Brian, I'm kind of guessing it's going to come down between Murky and the site out by well 4.
My concern is if we put it too close to one of our other wells and something happens to the aquifer,
Yeah,
we could be out 2 wells instead of 1.
yeah. Or if there's any contamination or anything like that, yeah, we talked about that.
And this Nelson Street, when you talk Nelson Street, or even if you talk somewhere in this neighborhood, with
Well,
that
across
plume
from me.
that's possibly coming, that's contaminated Martin Marietta's line, and if it's underneath the lake, and if it is flowing to the west, we certainly don't want to be on this side. We want to get a little bit inland, I think.
Well, I'm sure before anything is done, there's going to be a lot of hydrologic studies done and everything else to determine the best location.
Yeah, we have it
Long-term.
across from my house too.
Yeah, and I'd forgotten about that. We do have that parcel between Deans and US 31, which would be another potential site. In fact, I'm not sure, I'll make a note about that because I'm not sure it's been a while since we talked about possible locations with Brian.
But that is that'd be a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah, as long as it's by an existing line, you can tie right into it.
Yep. Okay. Anything else, Tom? Okay, Shirley, you got anything else? I don't have anything else other than just an update. I don't know if I talked before about the giant sequoias for this group, but I know Tom and I had a discussion about it, and I did meet with a gentleman from Indiana, Don Smith, and we set up a day to meet out at Magoon. That was a week ago last Wednesday. We identified a couple of locations for possibly 2 giant sequoias at each site. And I had Paul go along with on that so that in terms of taking care of them, upkeep, watering and all that, he'd be aware. So I'm just waiting to hear back from this Don Smith, and I fully anticipated hearing before now, so I think I'm going to give him a phone call and see where he's at on that. And that's out of the Kopmish.
Millark,
Yeah, Millark.
Archangel product.
Archangel, yeah, where they do the, what do you call it?
Cloning.
Cloning, that's what I was looking for.
Apparently they grow in this area?
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. Those are going to grow here?
Yes, they can grow in this area.
There is one at Gray's out there on, it used to be the Audubon, it's, it is upwards of 75 feet tall right now.
Oh, really?
And it's 100, he told me what it was, Bill or Don told me it's right around 100 years old. And this is why they're trying to get these established along Lake Michigan, a lot of places, because they always felt that they wouldn't grow anywhere other than on the West Coast, and they're finding out they're doing real well. So.
Check that out. I didn't know.
The deer don't like them, so
Yeah,
we
the
can
deer
plant a
don't
small tree. The deer won't chew it. They don't like that.
Yeah.
And then from what Terry told me is you don't have to go deep, 12 inches down in a 3-foot circle.
They
So that tells me that the roots go.
Yeah, they don't have a taproot.
So planting it on the soil that we got out there, the clay banks or whatever, so the more the roots are going to go straight out.
Interesting.
Yeah. It'd be nice if we could get some of those going in the township. None of us will be around to see them when they get to be any size, but a couple hundred years from now.
Well, it would be big.
Yeah, so, that's all I've got. If there's nothing else, motion for adjournment.
I'll make the motion.
All in favor?
Who was
Meeting
the
is
second?
adjourned. Oh, I'm sorry, Dale and Brian second.